Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a special 2025 forecast reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Pisces, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Pisces, I hope you're doing well. Happy 2025. This is going to be a brief forecast reading. I'm not going to go month by month. I'm actually going to do directions and directionality, north, south, east, and west. I have it written down here because this is the first time I've used this spread. The north will represent your overall goals and themes. The east, what is rising and upcoming. The south, what are your underlying challenges. The west, what is setting and being put to bed. They also correspond to the seasons, north winter, east spring, south summer, and west the fall. So I'm going to be using 3 decks for your reading today. The first will be the Citadel Oracle deck for the kind of overall energy of the spread, the Messenger Oracle, and the Tarot of Mystical Moments. So all cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus for their 2025 forecast. Thank you, Spirit. The Brawler. Lack of empathy and confrontation. My goodness. Lex Talionis. The Brawler. So this is not a spirit saying you should go out and get into some fights, Pisces. But what it does show me, honestly, what this shows me is kind of what the energy of people that you have been dealing with. And I feel like, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. I think it's almost like no more Mr. Nice Pisces kind of energy. You're not putting up with a lot of BS anymore. 2025 is going to be a year where you're just like nose to the grindstone, looking people in the eye. It's not to say you're confronting them with the spirit of fight, but you're standing up for yourself. And that's kind of what I feel here. You can see this hand is bandaging the other one. It's like we might have been burned or bruised, but we're still standing. We're still resilient. Spirit is showing me the 9 of Wands card, the resiliency card, the wounded warrior card, living to fight another day. So there is also one tinge of warning, because it does say lack of empathy, confrontation. It's also to be mindful of this in one's self, that, you know, we can't always have roses, right? And when I do tarot readings, I'm doing them with the theme of positivity and proactiveness. And it's this understanding that we have the power to react to every situation in a certain way. And if we're choosing to lack compassion or lack empathy, that is our choice. Now, the thing about Pisces is that because you're a water sign, I'm a Pisces moon, there can be the tendency to give people the benefit of the doubt. And sometimes people who are not so nice take advantage of that. I think that you're becoming very cognizant of that fact and your role to play in it, and you're not putting up with it anymore. So there could be a lack of empathy, but for people that don't really deserve it. Now, it's not to say that you're going to be retaliating or anything like that. That is not what we're saying here. But what we are saying is that we're going to put up some boundaries. We're going to put up some boundaries, Pisces. I'm going to get a clarifier for that. Three of Wands. So when we see the Three of Wands, this card talks about waiting, anticipating for kind of a perfect moment, to set sail, to set our boat in the water. You can see here that her dress is even, takes the shape of kind of like a mountain. So there is another kind of resiliency that I'm showing here, that you've been waiting very patiently for your time, right? You're waiting for that perfect moment. Sometimes I like to say with this card, you know, because other readers have said this too, and I find this to be true, that sometimes there never is a perfect moment. There's just a series of moments, and you can decide when to put your boat in the water and to set sail. That's up to you. But I have a feeling that you, in 2025, you're going to stand your ground a little bit. Almost like there might be some forces that might be pressuring you to move, and you're just like, no, I earned my place here. I earned this spot, and I'm going to stand in the spot. Okay, this is true, because Spirit is showing me kind of a very superficial example, but Spirit shows me things from my own life so that I can be able to communicate it to you, right? Because I'm channeling these messages and they show me my vocabulary. So in my day job, my work, we have these meetings, and I usually stand in a very particular spot in the boardroom, and I never sit down if I can help it. I almost never sit down, and I always stand by the door. Yes, so that I can make a quick exit, but also just because I like this spot. I like to be in that spot. And so oftentimes people come late to the meeting, and I'm always being asked to, like, okay, honey, move down, so that other people can come in. And I don't move down. I move to the side, and I say, okay, go further into the room. I got here on time. This is my spot. You're not standing in my spot. I never say any of this out loud. It's just all gestures, but this is what Spirit is showing me. That's my spot. I claim this. I claim this mountain. I claim this place. It's mine. And I feel like you're really standing true to that in 2025. I mean, good for you, Pisces. Good for you. So let me get the directions cards from the Messenger Oracle. Woo! Too many, Spirit. There were like 10 cards that came out. I'm not taking 10. Just 4 cards, please, Spirit. For Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Thank you. Oh. So before I move on, I just need to show you the card. Time to ground. Time to ground. Stand your ground. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, thank you. So east, that was in the north position. Okay, east. South. And west. Okay, now I'm going to pull the clarifiers from the tarot. Spirit really has a lot to say. The cards are just jumping out. Oy, okay. Yep, all right, that's it. Beautiful. Okay, so we started with the compass position, the middle position, talking about standing your ground. In the north position, which is the overall goals and themes of your 2025, time to ground. Rooting yourself to a particular spot and thriving from that spot, just like a tree. The Spirit is showing me now the idea, it's not just an idea, it's a reality, that trees grow in equal amounts in both directions. If you see a huge tree above ground, understand that the root system underneath it is just as expansive and just as powerful. So this was a similar theme that came out in the Cancer reading of like you laying foundation, but you're rooting yourself. It's like you're really stabilizing yourself in 2025. You're cementing your place. So if you have just moved home or just moved jobs or just gotten into some new relationship or new connection, you're really making it your own. You're really inhabiting it. Time to ground also talks about the root chakra. When you talk about the chakra system, or all of our energy centers, red is representative of the root chakra, and it talks about connecting with Mother Earth, like in an actual physical way. So being in nature, connecting to trees, connecting to flowers and growth and cultivation, and rooting our physical bodies as well as our energetic bodies. So, you know, being in these quiet spaces of contemplation, quietude, meditation, where, you know, sometimes our emotions and our thoughts can run away with us, and bringing that all back to center, all back, like I even went like this, all back to this place of namaste, all of this place of calm. That's very, very important, right? Especially if there are going to be these moments where you're itching for, you know, to throw your hat in the ring, right? It's also important to balance that out with calm, because we're not trying to be in the ring every single day. That is not what 2025 is about. 2025 is about standing up for ourselves. It's not about being in the ring every day. But if we're going to be in the ring, we're going to be in the ring all the way, because we've trained ourselves to be disciplined. That's also part of rooting. You're disciplining yourself to be calm. You're disciplining yourself to be strategic. Disciplining your emotions so that they don't control you. That's a lot of what this energy is about. Whenever I see turtles too, you know, they say that the backs of turtles, it's made up of 13 compartments. It corresponds to life path, life blueprint. So there could be something talking about your growth with your life projects or your life goals. You could be thinking a lot about, you know, kind of not just a 5-year plan, but like a retirement plan. If you're not even at that age, but you're thinking about that, like really forward projecting. I feel like this is a year where you're going to lay that foundation as well. I have a feeling, because you're a Pisces, every single Pisces I know is like very organized in this area of like saving and organizing their home life and just being very resourceful. But I feel like this year you're going to get yourself and your finances or your prosperity into a position where it exponentially grows. I see these acorns here, acorns from the oak tree, right? From one tiny acorn comes the mighty oak, right? So planting these very particular kinds of seeds so that you can have major abundance. But how long does it take the oak to grow? Like decades, right? So I'm really feeling like your 401k, obviously I'm not qualified to give financial advice, but this is what Spirit's showing me. Also, okay, they are definitely showing me this because there is this platform. This is not sponsored or anything. I just happen to partake in this. There are all sorts of financial apps and whatever where you can have your savings and whatever. There's a financial app called Acorns. I'm not saying go join that app. They're just showing it to me to talk to me about how you're like squirreling away your resources to exponentially grow them for your retirement, or for maybe you're saving up for a trip, or you're saving up for kids' college or something like that. They're also showing me these two birds. Now, I don't know what kind of birds these are, but Spirit is showing me the morning doves. the ones that coo. I don't know if I'm not going to make the cooing sound of the mourning doves, but you probably know what that sound is, especially if you grew up in like North America. It's probably my favorite sound in the whole world. And it's these specific kinds of doves that in the early morning, they just make this cooing sound that is so comforting. It's such childhood to me. I don't know why it's childhood, but like, it's so comforting and so calming. And it's almost like showing me that like, there's a beautiful, calm progress over time, but it starts by planting the seed as part of your kind of life path and your life goals, and then watching that grow, so that it's almost like you're planting the seeds now so that the tree can grow, so that the mourning doves can put their nest in it. Right? It's like really long game, long projection that Pisces is doing in 2025. And it's clarified by the Ace of Wands. So the story of your life, the story that you're writing for yourself, right? It starts with the idea. It starts with the inertia and the movement for something to then blossom from it. Aces bring new from spirit. The Wands suit is the fire suit. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And it talks about creativity, passion, sexuality, inertia, that spark, that initial spark. Aces are all about possibility. We ourselves have to jump on that possibility and potential. So that's really beautiful, the overall goals and themes for 2025. In your East position, what is rising? Right? The sun rising in the East. What is rising and upcoming for you? I correspond this to the spring position. So before North was winter time, so the beginning of the year. And obviously I know that there's some people watching that don't have seasons, but kind of just go with it in terms of like a layout. Just imagine the North position being like what we're gearing up for, right? And then in the springtime when there's bloom, the season of bloom, wash away your burdens. How beautiful is this? And it really highlights these lotus flowers. The thing about the lotus is very loaded with meaning. The lotus flower features very prominently in, oh, that's so interesting. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit just gave me a message, like a personal message. The lotus features very prominently in a Buddhist faith. And it's this flower that the seeds are in the mud underneath the water. They're in the mud and the dirt and the dark and the damp. And they rise up through the water to the surface where they then have these beautiful pink blooms. So just today, I was watching a reading, because I love this is how I learned tarot, by watching tarot readers, right? So one of my favorite tarot readers is Baba Jolie. If you aren't subscribed to her, please do, because she's literally one of the best. Her and Santero are my favorites. But Baba Jolie is very, very psychic, very connected to her spirit guides, and she always mentions symbols and things to look out for that will signal to you that passed away loved ones are with you, or that this universe is conspiring in your favor, blah, blah, blah. This morning, in the reading I watched this morning, she said, be on the lookout because Spirit is showing me a frog like on a lily pad. And here it is. And I didn't choose to use this deck. And like, I don't think I've ever used this deck on my channel, so I'm not familiar with it. I think this is maybe the second time I've used it overall, ever. So I don't have the cards memorized. I didn't know that this card was in the deck. And here's this frog on a lily pad, on a lotus pad. Your spirit guides are with you. My spirit guides are with me. It's such a good feeling because they're protecting you, you know? It says wash away your burdens. This is something that is coming up for you. It's going to feel like a release and liberation. Maybe you're having to let go of a friendship that doesn't serve you, or a job situation that's just not right, or you're letting go of something that has outworn its welcome. Outworn its welcome, is that the expression? It just doesn't belong in your life anymore. And Spirit is saying that it's okay. It's now time to let it go. 2025 is the time to let it go, because they're like really big energies kind of overriding your reading right now. And it's almost like you need to make space for all of the action and all of the intensity. And so there are some people and situations and things that just don't belong with you anymore. They can't hang. They can't hang on. Because Spirit's showing me a barnacle. A barnacle that would be attached to a turtle. And how you have to help save the turtle so that it can swim, you have to get the barnacles off of it. Barnacles are like ocean leeches. And Spirit is showing me ocean leeches. They're saying all those need to wash away. Anything that's like a leech that's taking your energy. And this is something that you're fully aware of. Spirit is saying you're fully aware of it, because it's clarified by number 17, the star energy in the reverse. This is Aquarius in the major arcana. The star talks about wish fulfillment and healing. Wish fulfillment and healing. When you got it in reverse, this is a lot. I mean, I'm going to get one more card of clarifier to ask what is being released. What exactly is being released? The Knight of Pentacles in reverse. I think this was a false promise made to you by somebody outside of you, somebody else. Somebody who came in with this message of opportunity. Could have been like a really close friend or something, like, hey, do this with me, like this will be a good idea. And you were really excited about it, and then all of a sudden it just like fell through. They like crapped out, or you know, they were gonna invest and you were gonna invest, and then like it just didn't end up happening. This is a false promise from someone. It could be a parent, a parental figure, a friend. It feels personal. It feels personal. Or you're taking it personally and you have to heal from it, you have to let it go. It might be uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie, Pisces, because this is kind of what's upcoming. It's like what's on the dock, what's on the board, what's coming up next. Up next, release and healing for Pisces. In the south position, underlying challenges. Well, share your thoughts. Share your thoughts. Look at this beautiful dragon energy. Channeling the solar plexus with the yellow and the heart chakra with the green here. Really intense. Really organic looking too. There's a little dragon on that side. Yeah, this is clarified by the moon in reverse. This is Pisces energy of the major arcana, number 18. Number 18. So you have 17 here and 18. So that's good. At least that shows progression. The card is in reverse. This is you showing up in your own reading, Pisces. The moon card talks about secrets, the hidden, mysteries, illusion, confusion, illumination in the darkness. Like, not having all the answers, but when the moon is in reverse, it's like things are going to become clearer. Things are coming to the surface. Could be some repressed feelings and emotions. This is the summertime energy of the south position. Underlying challenges. share your thoughts. It's so interesting because my Pisces sister, we were joking yesterday about, she read some horoscope thing or whatever for Pisces on Instagram, and she sent it to me, and she's like, oh, this is so me. And it basically said something like, Pisces live in a world where they're so expressive, but like only in their own heads. They don't say things out loud. And so then it can kind of plague you. And then there's like a lot of complexity under the surface. So, right, complexity under the surface. It's very important this year that whatever the situation, whatever the circumstance, that you express something outwardly. It could be difficult for you. It could be really difficult, but it's important because, what is it? Brene Brown, the very famous sociologist who studies vulnerability and shame. Brene Brown, very famous, out of the University of Austin. No, I don't know. She lives in Texas, I think. Anyway, Brene Brown said, and she was paraphrasing this when she said it, that it's like when you don't speak your truth, you start a war inside yourself. And that war takes itself out on your mental, emotional, and physical health when you repress your feelings. It takes itself out on your body. So you got to be careful, right? Because if you're in this energy where you're mending and getting ready to gear up for something else, you got to make sure that you're not fighting yourself. With this kind of dragon energy that might be locked up inside of you, you have to be careful that you don't unleash it on somebody that you love. Well, we don't want to unleash a dragon on anybody, but like, it especially hurts when you do it to somebody you love, right? That's where shame can come in. We don't want that. So, but this is why we're looking at this forecast, right? Because like, now you know, you can be cognizant of it, and you can be like, why do I feel angry right now? Maybe it's because I didn't tell my husband that he really upset me when he did X, Y, and Z. Maybe I should express that to him. Whatever the example is. That's just an example. Look, okay, you got the sun in reverse to clarify. This is very rare, I'm going to tell you. Like, when the sun and the moon are in the same reading, but they're in the same kind of section of your reading right now, and they're both in reverse. These two things pull at one another. This is like eclipse energy when you see the sun and moon together. And the eclipse energy, this came out in Cancer's reading too, but eclipse energy can be unreliable. So it's almost like saying, if you don't speak your truth and allow it to see the light of day, things can be misconstrued. And that's not what you want. You don't want to be misconstrued. You don't want people to assume things about you or interpret things that might not be true. That's why it's so important to express and illuminate. But these two pull at one another because the sun is all about illumination, but you got that in reverse. So it's almost like, it feels like wishy-washy. It's important to look at it. It's kind of undeniable. Right? It's kind of like how it's split down the middle here. It's like something about opposites. In the summertime, there could be a situation or a series of situations where you find yourself kind of at odds with yourself. Number one, the Spirit is saying be forgiving towards yourself and ask for help. Express what you need. Express what you need. This is the south position. Now I'm finally in the west. What is setting? Right? The sun sets in the west. What is setting? What is being put to bed? This is fall energy. I mean, double confirmation. Lingering into the fall, reveal your truth, Pisces. I don't know what this truth is. It could have something to do with a workplace. Clarified by the Eight of Pentacles. Can talk about the place and space where you spend the majority of your time, effort, energy, and resources. So for a lot of people, this is a workplace scenario. But if you're a stay-at-home parent or stay-at-home person, this could be your home life where you focus, it could be your business. But there's something here that needs to come to the fore. And I want to point out to you, instead of a third eye here, there's a heart. So towards the end of the year, there is compassion, right? There is understanding. There is compassion. It starts with you showing it to yourself by revealing your truth. You get a clarifier for this? Two of Wands in the reverse and the Magician. Magician, number 1 of the major arcana, Gemini and Virgo energy. Magician is the master manifester. We're making ducks appear out, or swans appear out of the top hat, right? Like miraculous things happening in the fall for you. Two of Wands in reverse, really taking charge and moving into a certain direction. There's no hesitation. Magic will happen for you when you just kind of really step into the self, really step into your fullest self, and not try to, I almost want to say put on a brave face here. Just your face is enough. You are enough. You are lovable, Spirit just said. You are enough. So it's kind of like, they said you are enough, but then they said enough already with the facade. Enough already with the thinking that you have to, thank you, Spirit. Thinking that you have to be something for other people. So they're showing me this top hat again, and the idea of wearing hats, and Pisces having to don many hats and be many things to many people. And it's kind of just like, show all your battle scars, show your vulnerability. It's beautiful in its own way. I'm going to get one card of advice from Spirit to close out the reading. Thank you. What? Three of Cups. I'm not a fan of this Three of Cups in this particular deck, because to me, Three of Cups can be a card of celebration and coming together. But for me, this feels like three's a company, three's a crowd. Three's a crowd. So 2025 is going to be, you're going to have some challenges, as we all do, right, Pisces? What is the key theme throughout this whole thing? Grounding yourself, standing up for yourself, not giving in to peer pressure, because this is what I see here, Spirit saying. Not giving in to peer pressure, and come as you are energy. Come as you are, fully and vulnerably and beautifully. So that's your reading, Pisces. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. If you're interested in getting a personal, more extensive 2025 forecast reading, you can find that, how to do that, in my Buy Me a Coffee link. And I thank you so much. Until next time, Pisces.